Welcome to Manga Storian's Complete Story series. Today we're going to be covering Berserk chapter 295 to 300. Now in our last video, we watched as Griffith led his army towards the gates of Midland to have the final showdown against the Kushin and Emperor Ganishka. Still paranoid of losing to Griffith, Ganishka sought to solidify his victory by becoming an apostle that the world has never seen. And now after the Bond has rescued the trapped civilians inside of Wyndham Castle, the stage for the final battle is set and ready to begin. As the sun rises over Wyndham, the wind blows through the silent city, casting a dark and ominous feeling. Diaby runs out of the Daka creation room, asking, "What the hell did I just witness?" He stops to catch his breath, and as he looks around, he sees several sets of eyes from Ganishka staring at him. The many faces of what Ganishka has pushed through. And Ganishka says that he's finally arrived at the abyss of hell and obtained what he was looking for. The power! The stone building begins to crack as something begins to push against the structure until it finally comes crashing down. And Diaby quickly runs down the steps to avoid being crushed, and as he looks around, he sees something truly horrifying. The entire Daka room has been replaced with a giant mass that is Ganishka having many heads. Diaby asks if it's really him, and Ganishka calls out, "Something is preventing me from moving." As he struggles, the city streets begin to tremble and the massive arm lifts up, destroying the surrounding buildings. Ganishka says, "Yes, this isn't the mist. This is my actual arm. The arms that I would use to tear apart my enemies." Just then, more arms begin to pull out of the ground, destroying the entire city blocks in their wake. Diaby watches, asking, how much evil did the Emperor house within his body? This means that the Emperor himself is overflowing with demonic energy. One of the stone towers begins to crack, and as it falls, it lands into the center where the Kushin soldiers are, crushing many of them. But before they can even ask what's going on, a black shadow looms over them, and they look up to see just what it was that caused that earthquake. However, not only do the Kushin see it, Griffith's forces all watch the black shadow cast upon the land. As Mule tries to even guess what they're looking at, Sonya says that it's over. The logic of this world is now ending. Everyone turns to Griffith for an answer, and he just stares ahead, planning on how to handle this problem. Out at sea, though, Guts and his team continue to sail in search of Elfheim, unaware of what's even happening on the mainland. But as Shirkei works with Farnies for her magic skill, she begins to feel something in the air. Down in the cabin, Puck and Valaria fish out the window using a piece of cheese, and soon they realize that fish don't care for cheese. Valaria says they need something bigger and livelier, something that would actually attract the fish. So Puck goes into Guts' satchel to see what he can find, and he finds the behelit. Puck figures that it should work and starts to wrap up the fishing line around it, and then everyone sees the Behilit's face shift into position. Once the face corrects itself, it starts to tremble, and Valaria shouts that Lord Betchy is getting angry. She will sacrifice something to appease it. Then Casca's chest begins to burn at the brand, and Guts quickly goes to check on her. As he does, he looks out the window and notices the winds all blowing back towards the mainland. An uneasy feeling begins to set in, and he asks, what is this bizarre feeling? Above the ship in their spirit forms, Farnese asks Shirkei what is it that they are feeling. And Shirkei tells her, whatever it is, it's enormous. It's almost as if the world is being ripped asunder. Back in Wyndham, Ganishka begins to grow in size, so much that even his body pierces the clouds. The soldiers all stare up at his new form, and though his very presence blocks out the sun, the Kushin army falls to their knees to pray. Ganishka looks at the ground, asking, "What are those tiny specks? Are they bugs? Insects?" He lifts up one of his legs and he says, "I can use my massive legs to trample the insects." And he stomps on the ground. The Kushin soldiers watch as Ganishka flattens the earth, killing hundreds of soldiers in the process. Ganishka then looks down at where he stepped, and he says that he can see the crimson flowers blooming wherever he goes. It's truly beautiful. These crimson flowers will blossom chaos. Back in the fields, Griffith's forces all begin to ask what they're looking at. Is it a creature who is as tall as the heavens and has 20 arms? Sonya tells everyone that what they are witnessing is a devil beast in the ending, the thing that will end this world's logic. Many of the humans begin to panic, and the Pontiff steps out of his carriage, telling everyone that there is no cause for fear. Rather, they should open their eyes. What they are seeing is the prophecy coming to life. The devil beast is the avatar of misfortune. However, the darkness will surely be blown away by the hawk of light. Back in the castle, Ganishka continues his slow march towards Griffith, crushing most of his own army as he moves. Diaby flies up to one of Ganishka's many heads, calling out that he needs to calm himself. His very troops are beneath his feet, and Ganishka looks over at Diaby, but because of how large he is, he cannot hear the words that Diaby speaks. Instead, he says that there's an annoying bug flying by my ears. It must be destroyed. All of his heads focus on Diaby, and they all begin breathing fire, forcing him to fly away. And as Ganishka does that, he sends a wave of giant fireballs down towards the ground, burning his troops. While the lands become ablaze, Diaby says that there is nothing that he can do. Ganishka has become the destroyer of the world, Shiva himself. As Ganishka looks forward, he sees over the clouds and he asks what's wrong with this earth. There are so many insects creeping around him. Is there nobody left? Are all of my soldiers gone? Where did everyone go? Am I alone? Where is this place? Is there anyone out there? As Ganishka continues questioning himself, he shouts, asking, "Who am I?" The emotion that Ganishka carries throughout his body launches more giant fireballs to the ground. As he destroys everything around him, he starts to see something in the distance, something bright and shining, and then he sees him, Griffith, and it is the light that he must extinguish. As Ganishka walks, his footprints leave behind fiery rings, and within those creatures begin to rise. Smaller Ganishka creatures take form and they grab the Kushan soldiers, and they start to reach out with their tendrils, stuffing them into their mouths. While the creatures eat, the blood of the soldiers pour through any opening in the Ganishka creatures. While the destruction around Ganishka continues, the humans shout that those things are heading straight for them, and everyone turns to Griffith for some kind of guidance, and he tells his soldiers to advance in formation. Everyone readies themselves, and Griffith himself begins to move out, and Charlotte calls out to him. He puts his helmet on and he tells Mule to stay back. Keep watch over the princess, Pontiff, and Sonya. Sonya yells that she wants to fight too, but Mule shouts that she must stay and do as she is told. Up ahead, Ganishka's creatures crawl out of the lake, and Griffith calls out to the demon warriors, telling them to move to the front. Ganishka then towers over Griffith and his men, and Griffith tells the demons to unleash their inner demons. And all at once, the commanders of each of Griffith's units begin to charge forward. All of his demon forces, land and air, begin to engage Ganishka's creatures to hold the front line. And with an opening, Grunbeld and the other apostles begin to change form, each leading their respective units. Locust charges in, slicing a group of creatures, while Zod takes to the skies, swooping in, flying through another group. All of the bodies begin to pile around Griffith, and the humans watch, and they begin to worry. All around them are monsters. Griffith's forces, and whatever it is that they are fighting against, they are all monsters. The humans have no place on this earth. And at that exact moment, everyone hears a voice, and that voice is shouting, "Stupid." Everyone stops to look around, and they see Sonya staring back at them. She asks, what is the difference between humans and monsters? So what if you're fighting alongside monsters? Who is out there shedding blood in this very instance? Which of them are throwing their lives into this battle? Humans or monsters? No matter what you think, you are all wrong. It is a matter of us fighting together with the Hawk. The forces that we are a part is the band of the Hawk, and to that we too must fight. Sonya draws her sword and charges forward towards a Ganishka creature, and just before she can reach it, something shoots by her. The object hits the Ganishka creature and it splinters inside out, causing it to burst. Sonya closes her eyes as something grabs her, and she looks up to see Irvine in his apostle form. His form being that of a wolf, and his upper body sticking out from the back. He tells Sonya that was rather rash. Your outburst was that of an unreasonable child. She folds her arms and grumbles, and Irvine goes on stating that even still, perhaps your outburst has finally convinced the humans. She looks back, and all of the humans cheer Sonya on, all chanting that they would fight together with the Hawk. While everyone rallies together, Griffith tells everyone that the demon warriors are certainly strong, but they cannot stop every single enemy. It is time for them to assume their battle positions and get ready to fight. One of Ganishka's creatures begins to crawl over, and the humans get ready with their cannons to open fire. The cannonballs blast holes into the creature, and the crossbow unit moves in, opening fire. And with not much life left, the cavalry unit moves in to finish the fight, killing the creatures. It is at that moment that the humans have banded together, and they start to fight alongside the demon's unit, all under the flag of the Hawk. And that concludes chapter 300 of Berserk. We have made it, guys. 300 chapters of Berserk right here on Manga Storian for you. I hope you guys enjoy. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep this story going. I'll see you next time right here.